and welcome to another edition of the Investor Guys podcast. Kind of last minute here, but how's everybody doing there?
It works, brother. It works. That's the thing, everybody's busy, everybody's running, and grab them where we can. And this is one of those times that we can, so we're grabbing it.
So tell us what you're doing in Las Vegas.
So I just finished doing a live 3-day event, a luxury event. So we were out in 6 luxury, anywhere from 1.5 to 5 mil. 3 of those were current flips that are going on. 3 of them are finished. And it's just an interesting world. The luxury world is one of those places that it's the last things turned down. It's the least affected, and it's the first rebound. So one of the things that we've noticed in that end of the world is how the price breaks happen. So out here, the $1 to $1.5 million house is still what I call a pain in the butt house. That's still, they're working with mortgages. They think they're spending all the money in the world, blah, blah, blah. When you hit about 3 mil, maybe 2.5, but certainly by 3, from there on up, they just write the check. They want what they want, and they write the check. It's all about location, and it's all about having done it absolutely perfect. And so these were 4,000 to 7,500 square feet. 3 of them are on golf courses, really nice. Obviously, they're all gated. And, what I call real gated communities that have constant security driving around. And so, yeah, fun stuff. But the amenities are so cool when you get up into those price ranges. One of them had a 12-foot tall, 7-foot wide, one single piece of glass front door. Now, you wouldn't think you'd want a glass front door, but when you see it, it's a pivot door. You can literally just open it with one finger. It is absolutely stunning. So there you go. That's what we've been doing for the last 3 days.
And the communities at that level are also pretty impressive. Like,
oh yeah,
I've got a place in Stonebriar, which is out by you, and the place we used to live in California, Coto de Caza, has 2 different country clubs, a racket club, a tennis club, everything all on the same property, an equestrian center. They actually held the Olympics there in '84 because the equestrian center was greater than anything they had up in Los Angeles. The polo club meets. It's crazy. Yeah. It's all behind gates with guards and sidearms and everything else. So,
well, one of these houses was next door to the founder of Winchell Donuts.
So one of them was donuts, which I never see anymore, unfortunately, either. So,
well, I probably didn't hurt their network. So, one of them was about 3 houses down from the guy that built Bellagio or the guy that bought Bellagio, I guess, from Wynn.
And Wynn is actually here. Wynn is in my neighborhood. He actually bought 3 houses here in the last couple of years. He's got 2 on the island and 1 over here on the other side.
It'd be interesting to see a guy like that, what his real estate portfolio, what all's in it.
He bought homes that he literally didn't gut necessarily, but he totally redid them. Redid the kitchens, redid the interiors, redid the exteriors. Did a lot of work on houses that most people would have thought were turnkey and ready to go. But
same thing. That's what's happening out here in the luxury world. These houses. A lot of these houses have been built after 2000. And so not just cosmetic, but gutting and $120,000 worth of hand railing. And just is so much fun. Infinity pools with infinity hot tubs.
Yep. And we have that here too, and especially on certain sides of the island and certain sides of the beach here. I'll have infinity pools that literally just look like they're going into the ocean.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Just like you're stepping
these are like you're looking right up into the golf course, which is a really odd combination, but it's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
So real estate is real estate. The only difference between buying a $150,000 flip and a $2 million flip is the size of your cojones. It's a difference in
budget.
the game. Yeah, a difference in the game. So one of the things that you learn when you start venturing down this path is that you're not going to go from doing 5 or 10 or 100, $300,000 flips into doing a $2 million flip, unless you're doing it cash, because the lenders won't touch you. Doesn't matter how much success you've had or how many deals you've done in a lower price range. They want to see something that gets very close. So you have to step this thing up. You have to, if you're doing $300,000 flips, you got to bump up. You know, you can probably go from 300 to 500 very easily, or 600 very easily. Do 1 or 2 at 600. Then you can go from 6 to 8 or 9 pretty easily. Now, when you've got a couple of 8 or 9s under your belt, then you can break the $1 million barrier and start going. Like if you're at 8 or 9, you could probably go 1.3 to 1.5 without much issue at all. And once you get in over the mill rate, then it's just, you just keep bumping and you keep bumping. Kevin and I both know we have a friend named Frank McKinney. Frank's been on my radio show multiple times. I've interviewed him 8-10 times through the years. Frank does 15 to 25 to $30 million flips. He does 1 or 2 a year. They're typically new construction. He'll buy something and gut it. Every now and then he'll build one ground up, but they are absolutely amazing properties. And I was talking with a student this weekend. They were like, well, I don't know how to finish these properties out. The finishes are so unique. I said, it's really not hard.
No.
What you want to do, you could jump on realtor.com and just start looking at $2 million plus properties till your eyeballs pop out. Go through, look at all the pictures. When you see things that are unique, things that are very cool, all these houses have wine cellars built in. A couple of them had glass wine cellars with the free floating bottles, which are just so cool. It was like 30 grand to hold. I don't know, I think it was about 70 bottles. Yeah, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. Interior waterfalls, saunas, just whatever it is you can think of. They've got built-in coffee bars in the master bedroom. Really nice stuff. Ultra high-end appliances. But if you go on to, you can go on Zillow, you can go on any site that, you can look at houses by price anywhere in the country and just start bumping up, and it'll help your business on the lower end as well. So
Yeah, another thing to consider, and Bill, as you know, as we talked before, I had a construction company in California. We built these types of homes in California. My partner there is wanting to escape California as well. So we've started companies here last year called Signature Custom Homes and Signature Custom Restoration. And a lot of what we do is we'll actually work with designers, directly with designers that have names. And that lends a lot of extra wow and bam, because when these people are buying homes, they know who these designers are. They're familiar with their work and everything else. And it really isn't that much to work with the designer, give them a budget, tell them this is what I need, this is, and then they'll tell you how much they're going to charge you for it. And then essentially they're signing their name to those designs. Those designs are theirs, whether it's architectural, whether it's just, the curtains and the trim, whatever it is, okay, that they're doing. You now have a home that was designed by whomever it is. So consider working with, and you can get designers. We have designers out of Los Angeles. We have designers out of New York. We have designers out of France. We have designers out of Italy. We have designers from all over the world that are designing homes here in the Palm Beaches, that designed homes for us in Newport Beach and Dana Point, San Clemente, those areas when we were in California.
Yep.
Find a designer to work with and let them do the heavy lifting. If you don't have the time to get in and do this yourself, and if you don't have the faith in yourself to do it, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Pay somebody to do it. It's absolutely worth it. When we're talking about a home that's in the millions of dollars, and you're talking about paying somebody $20,000 or $30,000 to do a design, it's negligible.
Yep. I'm quite certain we're up.
Let's take a break, and we'll jump right back here.
Thank you for watching the Investor Guys podcast. Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at CaymanK.com.
Absolution X, limited editions, lifestyle apparel like none other. Get yours today at absolutionx.com.
Thank you for watching the Investor Guys podcast.
Back, and today we're talking about high-end flips, and I am sitting right in the middle of it here in Palm Beach Island, and moved right out of it from the South Orange County, California. And what people don't understand is in these markets, in these neighborhoods, there are homes that go for $180 million and up. Jeff Bezos, I think, just bought a house for the $170 million something range. He and his new wife or new girlfriend, I'm not sure. I don't keep up with all of that, but there are homes that are in that range. There are homes that are in the 200+ million range. When you start talking Palm Beach Island, when you start talking the Hamptons, when you start talking Cape Cod, for that matter, when I say multi-million-dollar homes, we're not talking about $4, $5, $6 million. We're talking all the way up to $200 million. I'm not building those homes, and I'm not doing restorations on those homes. We're doing restorations on homes that are typically 8, 9, 10, up to 20, 25. I think the most expensive one we built in Newport Beach was $48 million. But you're talking about getting into something that is very specialized, and make sure that you know who your customer base is. Make sure you know where your funding is coming from. Make sure you know how long it's going to take to get this thing turned around. Make sure you understand marketing as well. One of the things that you're going to do if you're building a home that you don't have a buyer for, or you've purchased a property that you're going to be doing a rehab on, and you know you have X amount of time, start marketing that property right away. That's one of the benefits of having specialists come in, like designers and people who know what they're doing, because they are going to give you conceptual drawings right off the bat of every single room that they have their name on. So your master bedroom may be bare drywall and a concrete floor or floorboards, but there's a picture that looks like it came from a camera of what that's going to look like from every single angle. In fact, a lot of times they give you a 3D rendering that's 180 or 360 degrees on your computer, and you can actually see each one of the rooms. You've already approved it, but you can show potential buyers. You can get an agent who is in that space of selling those multi-million-dollar homes. Get an agent, start representing it, get an agent all of that information, all of those images, everything. And then a lot of these buyers aren't even local. They aren't even walking in these houses. I can't tell you how many houses here and in South Orange County get sold without somebody ever even walking on the property. They're buying these houses from China. They're buying these houses from Europe. They're buying these houses from Australia, from all over the world. And they're buying them sight unseen personally. And I've even heard stories of people who buy these houses and don't even come and see them for 6 to 8 years. I know people who bought houses and for 10 or 15 years never saw them, never lived in them, and turned around and sold them later. It's a game for the very, very, very rich, way richer.
It's investment. Yeah,
but
it's just investment.
Yeah, if you jump into it and dabble in it, then just know what you're doing.
One of the things that we hear from investors, especially investors that haven't been around the game very long, new investors or baby investors, is, oh, the competition, oh, the competition, oh, the competition. Well, when you're buying dirt cheap, it's like not even going to Walmart. It's like going to Dollar General when you're trying to buy in those price ranges. And there is significantly more competition in those price ranges. When you bump up to once you just get to median even, it drops down a little bit. Every stage you go above median. So you get twice over median price for your market. That competition is significantly less. And you start getting into luxury, which is typically 2.5, 3 times median, whatever the market is. That's typically where you break into luxury, and it just drops and drops and drops. The higher up you go, like out here, we were having a conversation with one of the guys that I work with, a guy named Nick Marietta, that we do some luxury stuff. And it was like, who is competing with you? There's like 5 people out here that do the price ranges that I do. And he said, we all know each other. And he said, it's the game of who can get to it first. Yeah, but there's not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And that thinning out of the competition happens at every price level. So if you're complaining about, oh gosh, I can't get a deal, I get outbid all the time, blah, 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 up your pricing. Don't up your bid, just jump up to the next level. If you're playing in 250 and you're constantly losing out on property because you get outbid or you don't get to it fast enough, bump up, go from 250 to 400 and you'll see a significant drop off. If you're at 400 and that's kind of median where you are, then start looking at 650 or 7 and you'll just see. And look, it's all relative to what your market is. Okay, your market, San Francisco's, I think, was the first community in our country to ever have a median price over $1 million. So if you're going in there and you're playing in the $1 million market, it's like playing in the 250 market in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah. Everybody's in it. So you just bump up. Yeah. You're doing the same thing. You're just doing it at a higher quality level.
Yeah. In South Orange County, $500,000 is a mobile home. And
and that's no joke.
A mobile home. So it is all relative. The other thing too is understand your strategy. It's not always a flip. Okay. I do a lot of consultations, not so much more, but lately, but I was when I first got here, a lot of consultations along the lines of Airbnb, but there are a lot of people who purchase mansions and do mansion parties. It's not a big thing on Palm Beach Island just because the police don't go for that and the city council doesn't, but we see it a lot in Miami. We see it a lot in Fort Lauderdale. We see it a lot in Boca Raton. We see it in other markets here in the area. People will buy these multi-million-dollar houses and they will make them available on essentially Airbnb or another site where people want to do mansion parties. They want to have a big blowout party for themselves, for their company, for an artist that they represent or something like that. And these people are paying $100,000 plus per night for these parties, and they're renting these things 3 and 4 times a month. If you're making $500,000 plus a month, you're covering your note even on a multi-million-dollar house.
Yeah.
You're also covering your maintenance and everything else, which they actually are paying on top of that fee that they're paying. Yeah. They're paying for those maintenance fees. They're paying for those cleaning costs. They're paying for insurance. They're paying for all of those things additionally. So there's different strategies. Understand that you may have a flip strategy and you're marketing this property. Somebody hasn't bought it by the time you finished it. Maybe you should start looking at some other strategies while you're holding it. Okay. Yeah. A mansion party is another great way to market your property.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're up on break here. Let's grab this.
Glad you're paying attention. All right, we're back in a second.
You are watching the Investor Guys podcast.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at CaymanK.com.
Absolution X. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Only at AbsolutionX.com. Get yours.
You are watching the Investor Guys podcast.
The Investor Guys podcast will be back shortly.
So just understand you've got multiple different options for strategies. Understand what those are. Do some research. Don't just say, hey, you know what? I just won Powerball and I'm going to go buy a mansion. Which one of my former neighbors in California was actually a Powerball winner. He bought a 23,000 square foot house diagonally across the street from me, and he had won Powerball. He moved from San Bernardino to Coto de Caza. It was a Beverly Hillbillies story for sure. Great guy though. His name was Ronald. Great, awesome guy. But make sure you understand, like any other real estate investing strategy, understand what you're getting into, understand what it's going to take to make this a profitable investment, and know your exit strategies. That is one of the things that everybody needs to go into. I'm writing a book right now. Bill's familiar with this. I mentioned it before. One of the things I keep mentioning is when you evaluate your property, think of what exit strategy you have in mind. Okay.
Yep.
You're not locked to that exit strategy. If a better exit strategy comes along later, then go with that exit strategy. But if you can cash flow using your exit strategy, if you're using all the right numbers, you have all the right information, if you're going to cash flow, if you're going to profit using that exit strategy and something better comes along, then you're going to do even better. But it's a good deal. Do the deal. If you have to twist numbers, if you have to do things that you shouldn't be doing in order to make the deal work, okay, don't do it. If you're betting on a risky exit strategy, then don't go for it. That risky exit strategy might be your backup plan, but go with a solid exit strategy and hope for that risky exit strategy that's going to pay you more. I mean, you're buying a house in Las Vegas. Maybe your exit strategy is, you know what? I know, a bunch of celebs in Las Vegas, maybe they're going to buy the house. Maybe they are, maybe they won't, if they do, great. If they don't, how long are you going to be sitting on this property? How long are you going to have to have holding costs? What are you going to do with it while you're holding it? Plan on the exit strategy that is solid. And if a better exit strategy comes along, then jump on it. What else you got to add there, Bill?
Well, and that's the thing. Understanding your hold time too is significantly longer in these price ranges.
Yes.
So there's nothing unusual about these markets or these price ranges, a house being on the market for a year, because the buying pool is so much smaller. So you're going to have a substantially higher holding cost. Look, it's just a line item budget piece. That's it. But you have to understand what those time frames are.
Yes.
You understand that by talking to the people that are in the market doing these properties. So real estate agents that represent these properties. You want to get to know. They are also a very select group. So they're a small group. When you start getting into those, Montserrat is in Fort Worth is possibly the hottest subdivision in Fort Worth for the last 4 or 5 years. And there's a guy named John Zimmerman. That's his community. I mean, it's just you're going to buy or sell a house in there. That's the guy you're talking to. He's pretty much got a death grip on that community. So if I were, and Montserrat is 1.5 to about 4. So if I'm looking to build in Montserrat, this is a guy I'm going to go talk to first. I'm going to go say, hey, what lots are available? What are you seeing in this subdivision, in this community, and what is needed here? What's the average size range? Now, you can find this stuff out yourself, but if you meet with those few agents that work those types of properties and communities, they can give you so much insight and help you save yourself from just a world of hurt if you do the wrong thing there. So Mira Vista is an older community in Fort Worth. It's a very nice community. It's owned by the Bass brothers, or was at one time. And I had a buddy that just inherited a house in there. And I said, so what are you going to do? And he said, well, I'm going to sell it. I'm like, okay. So it was built in the early 90s, and it was built by his father-in-law, and they had done nothing to it since they built it. And you went and looked at it. It was in immaculate condition, but it's 90s. And I said, dude, you're going to get hammered. He goes, oh no, it'll bring 1.3 probably in the next week, just like it sits. And I said, it's not going to. Because in that community, when you break a mill, and by the way, nobody, whether they're buying a $300,000 or a $3 mil or a 30 mil, nobody buying a house saying, well, all I got to go in is do this, 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 and this, and then it'll be like I like it. They want to buy the check or write the check and buy the house exactly the way they want it. And the higher you get price-wise, the stronger that statement is. They're not going to do anything other than stroke the check. So I told him that, and he didn't listen. So he listed it with the agent that I said, here's who you want to list in that community. Deanne Moore, that's her community. That's who it was listed with. And then weeks go by and he's, I can't believe this house hadn't sold. I'm like, I tried to tell you it wasn't going to sell, or you're going to get a lowball offer because it's not current. He said, well, I'm not going to go in and spend $150,000 to update it. And I said, well, then you'll lose $150,000 or $200,000 on your sales price, or it's going to sit so long it drives you crazy. Yeah. So think about those things. It has to be, when you hit those price points, it has to be drop dead gorgeous, state of the art, and the most current thing going on in the marketplace. Because those buyers know that stuff.
Yes, and absolutely make sure you're working with a professional who is familiar with not just the market, the neighborhood that you're in, but that demographic of buyer.
Yep.
When we're talking about agents who are working with those buyers, they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars a year marketing and promoting to potential buyers, people who they don't even know may be interested in buying, because they know at some point they may or may not be interested in buying with them. And it pays off for them. They spend the time, they make the effort, they know these people on a firsthand basis. They will pick up a phone and call a billionaire and say, hey, I've got a house that I think you're really going to like, because they know from their experience what that person is looking for, what that person has purchased in the past. So make sure you have one of those professionals working with you. Do not have your brother Lou, who just passed the real estate exam, marketing this house for you. Have Lou partner up with this person, let him learn. Okay. Give him that benefit, but don't count on Lou to get your house sold if Lou doesn't have the experience. And it's not just Lou, it's anybody who's not in that demographic. You wouldn't take your Bentley to a Hyundai mechanic.
Yeah. Right? Joe's Body Shop down on the corner.
What's that?
Joe's Body Shop down on the corner, or Joe's Rent a Wrench.
Yeah, you wouldn't buy a Bentley from a Hyundai dealership, Make sure that you are it's not a snob thing, it is a money thing. Make sure that you are getting the professionals in the right market, in the right space to help you get this done. So we are done.
Man, that blew by.
Have fun in Vegas.
We will do
Violet
that.
and I were just talking about getting out there here in the next month or two. Maybe we can meet up with you when you're going to be back there again.
Terrific.
That would be a lot of fun. We got a lot of friends. We got to meet up. It's not a matter of me. It's a matter of her. She has to find the time off to go out and do it. But we'll keep in touch and we'll talk about that too. Everybody else, if you're welcome to join us in Vegas as well. We will see you later. Happy investing, and we'll be back here on Thursday. Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
All right, brother.